I am.
Okay.
Apparently.
All right.
Do I have to hold this one too? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much for blessing us with your presence, Mr. C.
Thanks.
So, am I supposed to say, hi guys, welcome to Climate Gist, where we just banter and talk about climate change?
I like that. We should do the opening.
Yeah.
Why not?
But, sir, we don't like serious, aspire to Maguire. So, it's going to be very, very casual.
Okay, now.
And Gen Z.
All right. I shouldn't have worn my suits.
No, it's fine. I'm corporate too. Yeah. Okay. So, can you just introduce yourself to us very briefly?
Okay. I think I've done the introduction twice, and I'll do it again.
This one is for the camera.
This one's for the camera. Okay, cool. I'm Samuel Efosa-Austin. I'm a digital economist, a data scientist, and a product leader. I lead a few organizations. One is Echo Africa. The other is Tech for Good Africa, and I also lead African Technology Leadership Academy. I work in a full-time job as well as an entrepreneur. I lead partnership and fundraising at Impact Investment Foundation, where I'm raising $1 billion for impact investments and $8 billion for women, gender roadmap for the next 10 years. At the same time, you've heard I'm also raising $100 billion to build data centers in the Warrior Kingdom because I work with the king there. Yeah, but that's me.
Thank you very much, sir. Okay, so I'm just going to dive right into it.
Please.
When we talk about climate, you even mentioned it already that climate change is not just an environmental problem, right? And I know that a lot of times when we talk about climate change, obviously the first thing that comes to mind is, oh, the environment, oh, keep Lagos clean, blah, 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 blah. So my question for you now is that when people talk about climate change, they rarely lead with the economics of it. Why do you think that is?
I like this question, and I'm glad that we're starting with this question. And one of the things I'm very excited about is that we're sitting in a room with young people. As I got into the room now, the first thing I was hearing was a lot of people saying, oh, I heard about climate change like 2 years ago. I heard about climate change 3 years ago. And I think because of that, every time we hear things in Africa, we actually think that we didn't know it before. We just heard it newly. And I think that's one of the reasons we do that sort of structure. We like to, I want to use the word, we like to form that we now know something when actually we knew it before because we're hot, we're sweating. Yeah. It was climate change. Mm-hmm. When you were hot and you were entering the bus and sweating, something was happening that it was so hot. You were saying, Nigeria is so hot today. Why is rain falling everywhere and there's flood?
Real.
You were saying the thing, and it was there and it was real. But we align ourselves to begging than structuring as Africans. I want to put it that way. This is my opinion. Because we've come out of a slavery, right? And if we look at when climate change even started, it started in 1962. And how can they give your country independence in 1960 and then start climate? Because some lady said that she's fleeting and the fleet is polluting her air. Like literally, that's what started climate change. Because one woman said, I don't like that this fleet is polluting everywhere. And she went to go and fight for the policy. So I think that we as Africans, one of the reasons we don't see climate change as an economic design is that everything we always do, we always look at it from a place of help us. We have come from slavery.
Yes.
Help us. I'm begging you.
Real.
Give me money. We have to align ourselves. One of the things I do in my job now at Impact Investing is changing it for countries like the United Kingdom and other countries and telling them, why are you the one designing the way the fund should come to Africa? Why are we not the one telling you the type of fund we need? Aha. So you see now that means we're begging. We're always begging for the money. So if they design the money, you will align yourself to the way the money is. If they bring the money, you go and do that degree in school as an engineer or software engineer, not knowing that AI is going to be writing the code for a website. So we always sort of don't design. We sort of always beg. We always align ourselves to a lower standard. And that's why I said I'm very excited I'm talking to youths, because as youths, you can switch your mindset now. Because if you get to 30 and 40 and you have children, you can't switch your mindset again. You have to stay in that place that you are. Like Mr. Climate just said now, consistency. You just have to be consistent like that. Sorry, if you go and switch and change and you say you are flaky, you are not solid, and something like that. But if you are a youth, you can make mistakes, you can take those approach, right? Stop fighting for the fact that why is it that I leave my house and there's, just debt outside my house. Start from there. Write it in your policy, put it there. I told you the climate change started because a woman said that I don't like fleets. Come on now. So we have the potential to design climate discussion away from environmental issues and start to look at it from, where's my money? I remember the first time we ever met and you brought me to speak at a stage with the young people at University of Lagos. The first thing I asked them is, where's our money? Where's our money? Like, do you not know that you have a value? And climate is not about the environment. The environment is actually ours. One of the biggest arable land is Africa. One of the most highest resource location in the world is Africa. So where is my money? That's the question to ask yourself when you start to think about climate. And I think that will just answer the question of why are people not doing it? And I think it just comes from that mentality first. I think it's a mindset first of like, I have to align myself to where the money is instead of knowing that I am the money.
So speaking to what you said, I think that we just have this receivers mentality. Like, oh, we're not thinking of how to offer, we just want to receive. And I think that it might be a reflection of our own personal lives in terms of, let me use myself as an example. I think it was a few weeks ago, I was talking to my friend and I was just like, I think that for a while now, I've not had a solution bringing mindset. Like, I've just been focusing on problem. Like, I'm not even thinking that, okay, how can I even solve this problem that I've been talking about?
Problem just plenty.
Just piling up. And I think that it's a reflection of how we extend it as well to, things around the climate and environment. Because really, if we do think from a perspective of, I need to bring a solution, it will make a lot of difference.
Absolutely. And that part of economic design, and I'll just go a bit deeper here. I started by saying today in this conversation that Africa has never designed anything for the world. Like, it doesn't mean that we don't have things to give to the world. Right now, what they talk about that Africa gives to the world is what? Who knows? Just scream it out to me.
Natural resources.
Huh?
Natural resources.
Natural resources. That is what they stole. Now that they know that we are now coming to senses, we have gotten education, what did they say that we are going to give to the world now? Okay. That's interesting. You see that we still don't know.
Innovation.
We're saying it, but we still don't know. They will say it's talents. Manpower. The population of the Nigerian youth is that's all you are seeing as statistics now. And you see that we still do not know it in this room.
Yeah, true.
But every one of us is trying to become a software engineer so that you get that high job in the remote job.
Please.
Abi now, you want a remote job, you don't want to work for your own country. You want dollars and pounds. So it's literally just a receiving mindset, as you mentioned. But really, I'm going to be the one that will come here and move and say, we need to switch our minds, because I was changing it for them already there, that what happened now? How come I came to study here, I paid you thousands of dollars and pounds? You cannot train me to help my country. You see now, I switched the whole matter. And that's how we have to switch it, because if we don't switch it, you cannot see the innovation. And the amount of innovations I've created because I have this mindset is fascinating. The kind of things I build is not the normal things that everybody would build. I have Western countries coming and asking me, can you work on innovation with us? My consultancy fee now is going to like 100,000 an hour just for people to speak to me from a capital place, just because my mindset has shifted. And I'm just leaving it in the room here, and even in Climate Gist, that the gist of our matter is that we need to shift our mind. Quick! Clock it. Shift our mind. Quick.
I love it.
Because if you just shift the mind, I promise you, your eyes open. In short, it's your third eye that open. You start seeing something differently. You'll be like, okay, I'm the owner of the money. You switch it. If somebody's asking you, I want to give you a job, you'll be like, wait, I know my value. This is the amount of money I want. Why do you want that amount of? First of all, I'm African. Did you know? No, honestly, just for being African, you should collect the highest amount of money in the world.
Yeah.
I'm being honest. Right, let me stop there.
On a very lighter note, this is like a note to the room. Someone has this like motivating,
inspirational.
Spirit.
Yes.
Let me put it like that. If it can motivate you today, say I want to be Jesus Christ. Honestly, so just I like me now. He was talking now. I'm thinking like, okay, yes. How do? Yeah, he has that spirit. But thank you very much for what you do for the environment and for climate in general, and for the economy, most importantly. Leading to the economy, I think I have a question. We hear about green economy a lot. You know, I can point somebody to the room now and say, what is green economy? But I keep like, we're just going to get like a surface level. Even myself, like this is not even a general thing per se. But so I want to ask that when we're talking about green economy, removing the whole ceremony of it, like what does it look like in for everyday Africans? In theory, not in theory, but in practice. So what does green economy look like?
It's a good question. I think, first of all, let me first define it from the terms of really what it is.
Okay.
Green economy is the fact that we don't use fossil fuel or anything that pollutes the planet. Simple,
Sure.
straightforward, bam. That's it. Don't use petrol, don't use plastic, don't use anything that comes from fossil fuel. Finish. If you don't know what fossil fuel means, it means anything that you frack the ground to remove out of the ground and you produce it, and while you're producing it, smoke and everything is polluting everywhere, as simple as that. Now let me give you a very interesting scenario. Do you know that scrolling on your phone on Instagram pollutes the planet more than you throw plastic on the floor?
Yeah.
Oh, did you know that? Oh wow, okay, continue scrolling.
Carbon footprint accumulating.
Literally is accumulating. Some data center there running on generator is polluting the planet because you are scrolling on that Instagram and you don't want to stop. 3 hours. The data center is going polluting somewhere. Now the next thing you hear is that Samuel Efosa-Austin comes to Nigeria and say, because of the system of what Nigeria has, why by the water, we have sunlight, we can produce green data centers in Africa, sell the green data centers to the Amazon and the Google, and subsidize it for my people to build solutions on cheaper prices. What did I just do there? I shifted my mindset, right? Now, what I did there was I created a system for my country to now make money based on the fact that my country is green. And see, so where we started from was that we are the owner of green in the world. So green economy starts from here. So to remove the jargons and just to say it straight, I'm sure you're seeing somebody here from Tech for Good Africa already in the green space, is because we started to look at how can we do technology from not from the perspective of get all people to have skills and work for the Western people, but get them to have skills that align to what their country has.
Yeah.
They do it for good, because anything you do for good is for yourself. Before you start thinking of everybody else, you first do good for yourself now before you do good for everybody. So just to bring it home about what green economy is, green economy for an African context is to understand that we are green. Everything around us is green, and so we must use that more effectively than using the polluted materials. So don't use plastic, use another material. One of the fascinating things I've seen as an example to, because it has to be practical when you talk about green economy, because we don't just have green economy now, we have many types of economy now that's even come up. We have blue economy, we have circular economy.
Yeah.
So what that is even telling us, and which is the what I don't want to focus on that today because everybody knows me that I say that we should not measure the world with GDP anymore, we should change the economy. That's where it started from. My mission did not start from climate.
Yes.
It did not start from there. I just knew that where I'm from, the value of that place is climate. That's so the ECO that I'm eco evangelist. The E is environment, C is community, O is organization. So I tell myself that we should measure a country from collecting those type of data, the environmental data, community data, and organization data. That's just my own perspective, and that's why climate came in what I was talking about. People were bringing me to talk about, okay, you're talking about the environmental, but how does it affect community and organization? Okay, you're talking about organization, how does it affect environment and community? So do you see what just happened there? Now, but to just let you know what green economy is that our economy as we see it as Nigeria, because economy is not a one-man thing, even though it affects a one man, it's a country thing, it's managed by the government. So what that means is that our government now will do everything to make sure that every production that we do, whether it's the 5 sectors of economy is land, labor, capital, enterprise, and education, all these 5 sectors will be done green. Did that make sense? Mm-hmm. It's just clear, because if we say land, that means we should not frack the land to get oil. We should take things like Ghana has done now to make hemp legal. Does anybody know what hemp is? The boys are smoking it on the streets. Hemp. But actually, hemp is the fastest growing plant. It grows in 6 weeks and produces concrete and also the clothes you wear. Google it. Just Google hempcrete and click hemp fiber. Ghana decided to make, because of policy, you see economics now, they decided to make the economy more green. The Igbo, thank you. So the Igbo you are smoking is also one of the most credible green economy thing in the world.
Wow.
It produces clothes, fiber, and also produces concrete. So Lafarge, you should be competing with Lafarge and Dangote Cement by producing that type of concrete for building. No, did I just bring innovation for somebody here? I'm not going to do all of it, but I'm seeing the green.
Yeah.
That is a green solution there. I'm very, very. Did you know that the hemp industry is worth $3 trillion at the moment? Google these things. I'm not just speaking. $3 trillion. That's smoking the thing that they're smoking. It's $3 trillion. But actually, it's the most sustainable plant because it grows so fast. 6 weeks, you're done. And no wastes. No waste from the stem to the, no waste at all. I told you it will produce your clothes and the house you live. So food, water, and shelter is already done. Only that don't eat it because you'll be high. Actually, eat some carrots and some other vegetable, but your roof and your clothes is covered, isn't it? Is that not an economy?
Yeah.
Why should I still continue to buy clothes from China when I have such a thing that is growing in Ondo and Benin? And NDLE is arresting boys on the streets instead of bringing them into another thinking and saying, let's convert this into this. Let's change it into policy now that the Igbo will only be done industrially. Because that's what Ghana did. That's what South Africa did. And they're already in discussions with high-level companies that want to do those things. So I don't know if I share green economy. Green economy is, let's take all the sectors that are in the economy, land, labor. You see, I only spoke about land alone now. And look at the amount of innovations I brought out of that one. I've not even gone into labor, the kind of jobs you hear. Look at Olu here. He's already telling you that he's doing work on renewable energy. He wouldn't have known that he can be using his software skills for those type of things if he did not understand that it's more better to be green as an African than to be going towards the other side. Our mindset needs to be like that. We need to be like a holy green people. Like China is like this Buddhist type of people. You know what I mean? Our own type of culture should be green. I'm even in this room. Green religion, something like that, yeah.
Something is happening here.
Am I preaching? The wasted agenda.
Okay.
Because it's the truth, and that's the economy. And trust me, when you're designing something like this, and this is the work I do, it's very, very hard to try and convince a whole nation to move away from where their economy is running on crude oil to say, let's be more green.
Yes.
Some politicians now, their anchor on that crude oil is so huge. Even Tony Wilumelu that is forming that he's giving us $5,000. I don't know if I said it on climate change. He just did $750 million for crude oil. So how is the offsetting is not balancing.
Yeah,
so that means the economy still continues to be more black than green. And I know that we're here to educate in climate gist, but me, I'm going to come to climate gist and change your mind. I'm going to tell you that, look, as Africans, jump into it, switch your mind, come out of that, I need money, and come into the mind of, I've got the value, let me make it money.
Yes, thank you very much. So you now understand why he's called the evangelist, right? You can see it. Yeah, exactly. So thank you very much, Samuel. As a curious mind, I promise you I have more questions, but I just want to stick to the flow. So my question now for you is, what if African governments got one economic climate decision right in the next 5 years, what should it be?
If they want, please can you ask that question again?
So if African governments could get one economic decision right, or should I say climate/economic decision right in the next 5 years, what would it be?
Interesting. Before I tell the Nigerian government what they should do to do this right, and I think someone that can answer this even better is Mr. Clivis, Mr. Olumide, because as much as I went to the School of Politics, Policy and Governance, and I'm very interested in policy, I like more about the strategy and the pillars behind it, the economic part. So if they were asking me, would you be president or central bank governor, I'll say I'd rather be central bank governor than the president, right? I want to be behind and making sure that the policy is aligning to the money we have. That's my own. So what I'll do here is I'll leave that question for the people that are hanging out with the governors and the politicians.
Actually.
Because me, I'm hanging out with the money. Yes. And I'll give pillars. I'll say first pillar I'll give 4 pillars here. I wrote them down because I was very interested in just sharing pillars. One pillar will be, you cannot manage what you don't measure. Even the crude oil that we have at the moment, the Nigerian government do not measure really what comes out of the ground and what leaves the ground. They leave it to private organizations. And so we cannot manage even moving, transitioning. So for example, if you take countries like the United Kingdom, Europe, they have transitioning plan. By 20 days, we're going to move to no fossil fuel. By this week, we're going to move to this. So you see, I'm talking it now from now. I'm not going to tell them what to do, but I'm going to tell you what's behind it. You cannot manage what you don't measure. You cannot manage climate for an economy in Nigeria if you don't start measuring what we're already polluting or what we're already doing. So that's one problem, pillar 1. Pillar 2, climate education is economic education. Bam. As I stood here today, I've given you many innovations that have come out from my learning of climate. We're in this room because Loveth went and started to learn climate, and this is formed. This is an economic, because there's money that has been spent for this. I even spent my money to drive here. I'm even contributing money. This is an economic thing that's happened here, right? And it came because of climate education. So climate education is an economic education. Bam, second pillar. So the government, they should look into what I'm saying. They can diffuse whatever it is I'm trying to say. I think pillar 3 will be, Africa must own its green infrastructure and finance it in African terms. So our own currency, our own design, our own structure. We must do that. We must be able to own our own green infrastructure. Does anybody know any green infrastructure that exists that we own right now in Nigeria?
Ecobata.
Ecobata? I think the machine she even developed, she brought it from Germany.
Fair enough. Okay.
Come on now. See, the green infrastructure, so the money she will use to do that now, when she buys it first, the economic value of it will be purchased from Germany in euros. Then when she's running it, the running of it, the people that will structure it, they will still come from those places. So the economic value of it over a period of time, because I'm raising money for her now. I'm raising money for her. She's been in deal matchmaking that I'm doing, and I'm seeing her finance, and I'm like, you're making this amount of money from plastic. I need to go into plastic. So, but the green infrastructure of that is not owned by us, but we thank God that we have her, because now even she's being funded by organizations that are not even ours. The government is not the one funding her. We have to get her international VCs to fund her. So you see that the infrastructure, again, is still not owned by us. So we must make sure we own our green infrastructure. Yeah. And I think the final one that I would say is that let's make data the foundation of our economics. While I was in school, I studied economics. My first degree was in mechanical engineering, and I studied economics as my second degree. When I was doing my, because now I've made a decision in 2015 to go to university and study economics, because I literally got the download from God, and He said, you're going to change the economy of Africa. And I went to university, and as I was studying, my second year, I was doing a course on financial technology and systems. And I had to do this regression analysis, do predictive analysis using accounting software. And the software that was in my school, I went to University of Manchester. The software in my school is the software used by Bloomberg to track all natural resources and how they are sold across countries. Now, when I encountered this software, because I had to use the software for the project, You can't take that software out of the University of Manchester. Did this make sense?
Yeah.
Like, you have to go to use that data only inside the University of Manchester. Mm-hmm. After you finish your research with their data, because they have collected data set from all the purchases, they have it stored there. If you use the thing finish, you leave. Even you can't even carry. Mm-hmm. So I was doing my thesis, and the lecturer was telling me the thesis you are trying to do is beyond what we are telling you to use the software to do. Because I now wanted to use it to analyze all the crude oil from Nigeria for you. He's like, you can't do that. We won't give you access. Now, do you see that something? We're saying something. So the data of crude oil sold from Nigeria is not even with Nigeria. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's not with Nigeria. It's sitting in my university in Manchester. And it was only from there I could do the analysis. And after finishing from there, that software cannot be sold like Facebook. Olu. Yeah. There's some software, it can't be sold by, like, it's not Facebook. It's not Facebook. It's a unique software. So we need to make data the foundation of our economics. And if we don't start doing that, there's going to be a problem. And I think many of the governments are really afraid about that, because the moment there's data, there's transparency. So one thing you must know about climate is that one of the biggest things climate exists for is for transparency. Yeah, it's for transparency. It exposes everybody.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very
All
true.
right. So I'll stop there.
Okay, so there's a question that I did limit myself from asking because of time, but I think I'll ask it.
Please.
When we're talking about green economy, you mentioned how we should tilt green, try to reduce use of plastic, fossil fuels. There's the major question of how the green options, let me put it that way, aren't exactly as affordable as the black option compared to the economy of Africa, or let me just use Nigeria in this context. Everybody is going through a lot. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, we're trying to tilt green, but I'll use myself as an example now. Very simple example. We're trying to plan for climate change. We say we don't want to use plastic, Abby. Okay, went to the market looking for paper plates and paper cups. The difference between the price for plastic plates and paper plates is so, the gap is wide, and I'm like, what is going on? And to be very honest, I won't lie to you, before then, I hadn't exactly thought of that, because I had not experienced it. But when I did, I was like, okay, there's something wrong. Mm-hmm. So can you speak to that a bit?
I think our whole conversation has been around that.
Yes, actually.
Because the economy that you own, you have not owned it. We are the owner of that paper plastic, but it came from Nigeria when they produced and sent back to you.
Yes.
But the plastic one was sent to China and made cheap and sent to us. See, because China will not produce that plastic, that paper, that cheap. Because the people that will buy that paper one are more of the people that are moving towards the climate faster than us. Okay, so economy is across the whole world as a global thing. So climate and living green is not expensive. It's actually more cheaper individually. Collectively, it's more expensive. Why it's expensive collectively is because how can I get everybody in this room now? Now, when you were saying that to me, my brain has already innovated. When you were saying to me that, we were thinking of climate change and wanted to go and buy our own plastic. In my own head, personally, I won't even care. I'll send everybody email that you're coming, bring your plastic bottle because you're coming to climate change. Bring your own bottle to climate change. Now, it's unique, but it's something that somebody in Britain, in England, will do when they're sending an email to everybody coming to the thing. They will put it in that email. If you come and you didn't bring your bottle, what you are showing is that you don't have initiative. And that helps us to know whether we should allow you in this circle or remove you. And we don't do that in Nigeria. Everybody's welcomed.
True.
And we don't need everybody to be welcomed in an economic. Do they bring everybody into economic discussion? Were you there in the economic budget when they were discussing it? They won't bring you.
They won't, true.
So we don't want you in that room. So that thing of writing that is to filter, is to make initiatives. Even the Bible says, test all spirits that you may know.
Yeah.
That which is. So if we're moving towards climate, now I want to add another caveat on top of that. If we're moving towards climate and we're not innovating climate solutions, how do you increase the value of climate? So, if we need Nigeria to make things that climate cheaper, how many climate innovation and green infrastructure do we own that allows our economy to evaluate more things to be more green? How many people know that even paper, the trees for doing them are inside Nigeria? Do you know?
Yeah.
You do? Yeah. But yeah, you need to start producing those paper plates. Because you might think, why am I not going to produce paper? I'm too young. I can't produce paper plates. Paper plates. Yeah. The moment you produce 5,000 and you sell the first batch, and before you know it, somebody's calling you and buying all of that, you'll be like, what? Because then they have to write it in their ESG reports now that we've used paper plastic. Come on now, you are onto something. Switch the brain. Stop looking at the problem, start looking at the solution. The solution will bring more value. But most importantly, because we're African, we're green, attached to that.
Thank you very much. I think we'll just end on that note. But thank you for ending on a very reflective note, because you just gave us a lot of questions to think about. And I hope that from here we'll take it up and be innovative, guys. We need more innovation, more green innovation. But thank you very much, Samuel.
Appreciate it.
It's been a pleasure having this conversation with you.
Always. Thank you, guys.